Hello, everyone! Good afternoon po sa inyong lahat. Welcome to Spotlight. I'm Aizel.
I'm Jojo,
Ayan.
Silvestre.
And today, we are very pleased to have Miss Brenda Tenk, a renowned artist and painter. Ayan po. I think we have her na on board.
Yeah. Hi,
Hello.
Brenda.
Hi, Miss Brenda. Hello.
Hello, how are you? Aizel, hello,
Yes,
Jojo.
hello po.
Yeah.
Ayan.
Brenda, where are you now?
Actually, I am in Negros Occidental, Talisay, in my house.
You're from
Because
there.
of COVID.
Oh. So you've been there. Ilang buwan ka na dyan?
Oh,
All this.
a year. Pasado na a year. Since COVID started.
Oh,
Okay.
how has the pandemic affected you as an artist?
Actually, it's like in a movie. It's a blessing and a curse. A blessing because we cannot go out. So I was able to hone my skill in painting. And you paint every day so you won't get bored. Then also because of that, I was contacted by my other friends internationally to paint and see what's outside of your window. So we would do that. So you paint, and so that's in Italy. And then IWS had also International Watercolor Society is also very active. And so the virtual exhibitions now are in, and so we're always out there. I also am working for the Philippine Guild of Watercolorists, and so because of that, we had our first virtual exhibit after the pandemic.
Okay.
So,
So it's really quite good.
how about sa Negros? How has the pandemic affected the local artists?
Well, actually, it's not so good. Okay, it's not so good because usually what they do is they have this exhibition, art in the park, etc. So, but because of the pandemic, we cannot do that. Okay, so when we do our plein air sessions, that means to say you go out of your house, you go out in the mountains or into the whatever, and you paint the scene. You can only bring as many as 10 or 8. Otherwise, you could cause another pandemic.
Yeah.
Okay. Miss Brenda, I'd like to go back to a little bit of history. What's your first, if you could remember po, what's your first artwork? And when did you start doing it?
Oo nga, ano?
My artwork, okay, as a child, of course.
Yeah.
If you want to run away, if you don't want to be scolded by your parents, you better do something good. So, and my parents were very strict. So, every time that they're ready to get mad, I would paint something for my dad.
Wow.
Okay? Yeah. But then, if you'd say artwork per se, I think I sold my first painting while I was in Syria, okay, in Damascus, to my friend. Because at that time, we had our, what we call the kitchen painting group. So we would paint, expat wife, we would sit down together and we would have another expat who's very good in painting teach us. Okay? And one of my friends, who was the owner of Nivea, the factory, decided to buy one of my paintings. It was my first one. It was so expensive. It was, of course, a painting of a family. And that gave me honor, of course, Imagine, who am I?
Brenda, why were you in Syria? Anong ginagawa mo doon nun?
Okay.
When was this?
That was in 2000 up to 2006. I used to accompany my husband in all his travels, expat, because he's an expat. He works for Nestle. So I would accompany him, and then while he is working, I have free time. So if I'm not taking care of my child, we're painting. We're together. With a lot of expert. Yeah, that's what we used to do.
So it also was a form of bonding na rin in a way.
Yes, yes, of course. It was basically when you're in a foreign country, you're really all alone. So the first thing you bond with are the mothers, okay, from the school. And most often, because I don't want my child to become bullied, I used to run for, office. So I started as a room mom, then I became the officer in the board, then I became the president, and then I became a chairman of the PTO. So all the way until he graduated. So in a way, that was quite good.
So you got to meet a lot of Syrian artists, or were this?
Also, yes.
How is the art scene there? Kumusta?
Oh my God, they really sell their paintings. Well, okay, everything is in dollars, okay?
Oo.
So because of that, and they are always selling the artwork to
Mm.
embassies. So because of that, the prices are quite high. The one that was teaching me while I was in Syria was a
Mm.
Kurdish. I don't know how you say it. He's from Kurdistan, okay? And
Okay.
so he was the one teaching us. He was a refugee, and he was teaching us how to make paintings using sand. Or at that time, I was crazy about portraits and nude paintings, so he was always teaching me that.
Mm.
So then one day he told me, Brenda, maybe you should expand yourself and stop painting only nude painting.
Mm.
Instead of thinking of the good thing, I thought, oh my God, he's falling in love with me. So I told my husband, please, I don't want to have lessons with him anymore. But that's not true. He really had a very pretty wife. That was, you just had that feeling, but of course, because you're the only one that is learning how to paint with him in the studio, and that studio was in between, I don't know how many desert dunes. So you really, on your own. But he was really a very good painter.
Miss Brenda, I just like to delve on your process of painting kasi I'm just
Mm.
curious. Ano yun? Do you need an actual inspiration? Do you need to be in front of say a scenery, or you can picture it in your mind and whatever is in your mind goes out on your canvas?
That's one. What is inside your mind goes out into your canvas. But usually, what I do, I draw inspiration from the things that I normally do. Okay, like I have a bangus farm, so most of my paintings are of the fish. Okay, the bird, because I like birds. This is my favorite bird. That's it's a very small bird. Then I have a papagay that is given by my brother. So I do that. Carabaos, I like that because that we have a lot of carabaos. That's the bangus that I have. And then I also do ducks because at that time
Mm.
when I was undergoing some troubled stuff, a duck is really symbolic. You only see the duck floating so elegantly, but actually deep down, it's struggling so hard, paddling in order to stay afloat. So I painted a
Mm.
lot of ducks. Then I painted a lot also of jeepneys because
Wow.
then I found it quite interesting. So that's what I've been doing. Carabaos, fish, and all that.
So you don't really need to be in front of an actual inspiration for you to say draw a scenery. Like parang nature painting. You don't really need that. You just need to imagine it and then it goes out on.
No, 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 no. I
Wow.
need, I need
Ah.
something factual because out of your imagination can only come because of, okay, for example, Carabao. I like to see a real Carabao and change the color because I'm just in the mood for an orange Carabao or a blue Carabao, something like that. The
Mm,
scenery, I
yes.
also need to see the actual, and then from there, make my own composition. That is the best way
Mm.
to do that. Because when you do that, nobody can ever follow you because you made your own composition using the actual fact or
Okay.
the actual photo.
Brenda, I wonder if there's anyone else in the family who's an artist. But before you answer that, let's have a commercial break.
Yes.
And so we're back and
Yes.
we were asking Brenda, meron pa bang ibang artists in your family? Saan nagmula yan?
Yeah. Okay. Well, to start with, our dad was a civil engineer.
Oh.
Then within my family, my brother Clint is a good acrylic artist. His
Oh.
children, the daughter was, but then she died. Okay.
Oh.
Then I think that most of the kids of Clint, they're more gifted in that aspect, painting, and that comes from the Tirambulo side, from my father's side. My father's mother, Tirambulo, a lot of them are painters also. So that's what it is.
Miss Brenda, I'd like to know lang, no, what really is like the difference between like acrylic and watercolors when it comes to, the actual science of painting? May difference pa ba yun? Or whatever color is available?
Okay. Acrylic kasi, it's an opaque kind of of paint. Okay? In other words, uh, if you compare it to watercolor is translucent. So when you apply it on paper, you can see immediately the change of color in watercolor because it's translucent. And the acrylic naman, it's opaque. So what's going to happen is, if you make a mistake because it's acrylic, you can just cover it. Okay? Unlike watercolor, it is difficult to make a mistake because if you make a mistake, it's immediately seen, obvious. Okay? So that is the difference, the marked difference. And also, you layer watercolor from light to dark. Okay? In other words, you apply color light to dark. The acrylic naman is the opposite. You start with the dark color, and then once it dries, you put the lighter colors. So that's the difference. Okay, but it's the same. You use water as the medium to make it work.
So it really has to have parang like a science pala talaga, not just anything that I want to put this color here and I want to mix it here. So meron pala talaga siyang you first layer it with this one and then you fade it para merong succession yung colors. May ganun pa pala yun?
I'm telling you, when I started, I really just thought I'll apply whatever color I like. But then, yeah, but then as you become better, and then when people start praising you, you start to change. You want to accommodate your client, diba? So you start to learn, and when you start to learn, you want to perfect it. So like now, because of the COVID thing, we found about Zoom. And with Zoom, we were able to get in touch with master watercolorist. And because of that, I was able to perfect not really perfect, but learn new techniques and become a better painter than before. See, so and it's much better than oil. Oil is different. You have to wait for a bit, for days before it dries up, then you apply. And it's similar to acrylic in some ways that it is from the dark, you turn it into light. Unlike watercolor, it's really different. Watercolor pa, if you have asthma, if you're using watercolor, you're not affected. So it's quite good. I'm very happy with it.
Yeah. The life of an artist, of a painter can be very lonely, I mean, you're alone in the room, you're doing your thing. But of course, there are also groups of painters, no? Do you belong to a group of artists?
Yeah, I do. It's just, I'm all over the place. Okay.
Oh.
First of all, in a way, if you're really an artist, it's not lonely. You're not lonely, but you need time for yourself to create your thoughts into paper. Okay.
Okay.
So that's really different. But if it's friends, oh my goodness, you have a lot of friends because then you need to talk to people, and then you always exchange ideas, and you meet people online, and you meet them. So that's not a problem. But I do belong to Philippine Guild of Watercolorists, wherein I am a director. I also belong with Fabriano, that is in Italy. I also belong to Orvino in Aquarello. That's also in Italy. Then I am involved with the local one. Aside from the Philippine Guild, I am with the Freedom Art Society And then I am also with Agua, that's also watercolor. So there's so many groups, except, and then, I'm also involved with some Japanese groups like the Jiwi International Watercolor Institute. That's a Japanese one, and it's a prestigious one. Then I also belong to the SAIP, it's a French one, and it's also a very prestigious one. Only the masters are there, and you feel good when you become part of it, and you win awards.
You've participated in exhibits of, how is this pronounced?
Urbino in
Urbino. Yeah,
Aquarello?
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Tell me more about the group. Is it a group? Is this a gallery? Is this a
No, it is a group, okay? And I think we have more than 2,000 members there. Actually, every year they come up with a different theme. Last year, it was about Rafael. So, Rafael Santi, he comes from Urbino. And he's a very famous Renaissance guy,
Yeah.
okay? And because of that guy, we were inspired to create our own painting. Our own, no, our own take on how we apply the style of Raffaello that was really of the Renaissance time, and then you apply it to your style and to the Filipino way of painting. So what I did was I used the face of Raffaello as my study there in my painting. Then I used the jeepney, okay, to create my artwork for last year. This year, the topic is even more exciting. It's the divine comedy. Okay? In other
Wow.
words, yeah, you just imagine, you were asking me, how should I translate my thoughts into painting? Really something. Because then you have to create how God met this guy, okay, in your life, and then transform the person from a bad person to a good person, because the divine comedy is about the story of how Beatrice, that is God, meeting the guy from the Divine Comedy, and then he
Dante?
has an
Dante.
angel. Okay, and so all of this, so I was already thinking what I'm going to do is I create a man, okay, and then he's thinking, and then I have to paint it, then I have to let the girl come in, the pretty girl, to be Jesus Christ. So I'm create. So of course everything is still topsy turvy. I more or less I know already how God will meet the man, but how to transform man from a bad person to a good person, I have not reached that yet. So I really have to think harder, and my deadline is June 30.
Miss
Yeah,
Brenda,
crazy, no?
mm-mm,
Pero kaya.
yes.
Yeah, makita nyo. Pag makaya, cover me again. No, joke.
Miss Brenda, what's the best thing about being an artist, professionally and personally?
Okay, I'll tell you something. Being an artist is actually something personal for me, because you start liking how to paint because you want to express yourself. You want to be some, you just want to create something. You want to be a little god, You create something like a flower, converting a paper into a flat paper into a flower and make it look like a real one. Okay, but later on, you will change that. You can use your talent as an artist, okay, to recreate yourself. Because right now, I'm already in my 60s, okay? To reinvent yourself at this stage, okay? From being okay. To start with, no, when I married my husband, I was into tennis. I was excelling in tennis, then into golf. Then, when I was in my 60s, I told myself to take up painting. Then you excel from there. So, in other words, the idea of reinventing yourself until you die is quite an interesting occupation of mine.
Yeah, yeah, that's right. You know,
Yeah?
um, you've done a lot. You're one of our top artists, but there are so many young people who also want to pursue the same art, no?
Yeah.
So I'd like to ask you your advice to our young people. But before that, let's pause for another break.
Okay. Thank you.
Iba ng panahon, ang dami ng bago ngayon. Pati ang mundo natin, well, nagbago na rin. Buti ang bayan, bigger, better na. You can buy it to centers, pati sa mga parties may online pa at app. You can buy it with your fingers, still phone remittance and more. Online shopping, you can buy it all. Di magpadala, you can buy it all. Ano mang pera transaction, you can buy it all. Sabayan ang pagbabago ng mundo for all your pera transactions, all new Bayad.
Montero Sport. Elevate your journey.
Drive your ambition. Mitsubishi Motors.
Alright, welcome back to Spotlight. You're still with me, Aizel, and of course...
Jojo.
And of course, we're still with Miss Brenda Tenk. Ayan.
So Brenda, ano ang masasabi mo? Ano ang advice mo sa mga kabataan who would like to pursue a career in the arts?
Is it a lucrative career even to begin with? To be very honest, baka that's
Mayaman
what
si
they want to know.
Brenda.
That's what they want to
Oh,
know.
grabe ka. Hindi. No, to be honest, watercolor as a hobby is quite expensive. The paper is expensive, the colors are expensive. So if you really need to do that, then you really have to become serious with your work so that you can also pay back your expenses. Okay?
Oo.
But once you start getting a name, then it balances a little bit. A little bit. But like anything else, you really have to work hard on your art in order for you to become good. Okay? And if you're not really interested in that, don't take that career because it's very tiring, you know. You get frustrated, number one. You'll be wasting a lot of money because, like for example, for me, in order to perfect my drawing or my painting or whatever I'm doing, I waste a lot of paper because if I'm not happy with that, I throw it away and then I start again a new one and I throw it away and start a new one. And out maybe of 10, maybe I'll choose one. A friend of mine told me that, Brenda, why don't you make a small drawing? So then from there you don't waste paper. You mop it out there. But me, I like to do the actual and see the effect. I mean, you know, how my water came out or the color was intense or whatever. So it's really a lot of, love for that because otherwise you will go crazy with the expense.
Ayan. Okay. Anyway, that was a really insightful thing on. Kasi syempre kapag ka artist ka and you want to really have a career on this, you might want to have an honest answer if it can really sustain your life. So thank you very much for an honest insight on that. Anyway, ma'am, for this segment, we will call this Spotlight Exhibition, where we will show you pictures from your Instagram and you will tell us the story behind the photo. These are actually your artworks.
Okay.
And you will tell a story kung paano, anong inspiration itong artwork na to, how did it come to be, and all of those things. Okay, ready na ba ang ating mga pictures? Alright, let's show artwork number 1. Yan, jeepney.
Yeah, that's my
Magaling ka, ha?
artwork that I sent to Urbino. on your left-hand side, if you notice, that is the face of Rafael Shanti and his best friend. That's the only way I can incorporate a Renaissance
Uy.
painter to my painting. Okay?
Oh.
Yeah. And then I like the jeepney because at that time the jeepney is already being abolished or it's changing. The world is changing, so they want electric cars. And I thought, okay, I want to paint jeepneys to remind people of how we used to ride. Okay, and if you notice that painting, you can see the picture of a vain woman, and the drug addict because the glasses. So actually, there's so many stories behind that gypsy scene.
Okay.
Ayan, okay. Next, our second artwork is... Oh,
Oh.
there it is. Is it
Okay.
a young lady?
Yeah, it's a little girl, 5
It's a
years
little
old.
girl,
She's so
it's-
talkative and she's so full of life. And I have to create a coffee painting. So and if you look at her, I could see that she is really you can see from the painting how naughty she is. Look at her eyes, okay, and look at what she has in her hand. It's a mascara.
Ah, okay.
Yeah,
So, parang siyang naglalaro ng mga makeup that she sees everywhere.
exactly.
Alright.
And it's always something like once upon a time when I was a little girl, I used to do that. Okay.
It actually
But
does
you know-
remind me of my hobbies at that
You
time.
like
I used to do that, yes po.
Oo, kaya nga. At saka the color I use there is the real Nestle ground coffee beans. You know, the 3-in-1? But I didn't use 3-in-1. I used the normal original coffee. And then
So,
you put a
kapag po
little bit
nilagay yan
of
sa
water.
water, tapos nilagyan ng konting asukal, tunay na coffee
Walang
pala.
asukar there. Walang asukar. Honey.
Honey.
We used honey there. And then what I did was, to do it layer by layer by layer.
Nice. Okay, do we have photo number 3? Oh, there. Okay.
This one. I like this photo so much. Artwork.
Artwork.
This one was recognized in Argentina. So this became
Wow.
part of the show in Argentina. Without my knowledge, they just included in their portfolio. Okay? And also, I won an award there for China. Okay?
Wow.
Last January. So I'm quite happy with that. And the title of this painting is Waiting. You're waiting for the sun to shine again. You're waiting for a change in your life. So when I paint, I always have something in my mind. Yeah.
Pwede po
And
ba
I
rin yung
think-
waiting for the one?
Pwede man.
Pwede, pwede. Why
Pero,
not?
I do not rush. Do not rush.
Do not
you have
rush.
to pray. You have to
Okay.
pray.
So every
Okay.
time I think of that, I'd look at that painting and I just pray
Please
and
do.
wait.
No. You wait and you pray to the Lord. Lord, send me
yes.
the right person in life.
Mhm.
Okay? So that you don't make a mistake if it is being planned by the Lord.
And it is always inspired by that painting. Nice. Wow.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, Aisha.
I think you did po. Well, fourth artwork, do we still have? Okay, fourth artwork. Oh,
Good,
this one.
nice.
Is it a lotus flower?
Yeah, it's a lotus.
Okay.
According to, for me kasi, the lotus has a beautiful meaning. It's always, number one is, in spite of the ugly place you live in, you still come out beautiful. Okay, then you really are something, right? Also, if you're undergoing so many changes in your life, if you remain to your principle and come out still strong and clean, then that's something to be proud of, right?
Wow.
So
Very
that's why I
profound.
really like the lotus.
Very profound. Oo nga, na-imagine ko kasi usually the lotus just grows out of maybe a canal or parang a maduming body of water. And it's that little bud of flower, a beautiful bud of parang purple lilac colored flower that you just love to look at. Kahit medyo hindi maganda yung amoy sa paligid, but there's that flower that grows in there. Very profound.
Yeah. And so you will always tell yourself, do you want to be like the lotus? You know, that despite everything else, you will remain pure. You'll change. You evolve. Okay, then that's really something.
All right. Do we have artwork number 5? Last, all right.
Oh,
That's the last.
wait. By the way, do you know that the back of the lotus, that's with tissue paper. That's why it has the contour look. So that's a gimmick that I learned from my Malaysian teacher.
Wow, that's very nice to hear. Last. Where is this one?
Yeah, you know, this is just my study, and to be
Ganda.
honest,
Maganda.
Ganda.
oh, I have you like it, but my friend told me I shouldn't really be posting something like this if you compare it to my other painting. But this is about learning about perspective, okay? Because I'm not very good with perspective, and having that orange house on top of that thing. So that's it.
But
Yeah,
where
this is my favorite.
is this an actual place po? Or
That is an actual place, and it is known for its red-orange roofs.
Wow.
So that's the reason why I did that. And I did this only in maybe 20 minutes. So if you
20
notice,
minutes?
yeah. So
Oh.
you will learn to do that. But of course, you can see it's not really the best. If you compare it to my girl with the banana leaf, you can see that it's a different approach because that one was well thought, planned. This one is you just sketch it and you talk, blah blah blah, and that's it.
But this is also very very telling for me. It kind of tells something, maybe a story about a family that's walking all together. It actually does tell something for me.
Oh, thank you, Aisha. I really like you.
Thank you po.
I'll make you a painting. I'll make you a little painting.
Someone as beautiful as
Ay,
you.
grabe!
Oh, si Jojo. Oh, at saka, it's just now that I'm starting to relax. I was so stressed the whole time. It's so stressful when you're talking to someone. And then I just realized, this is not an interview. This is a video show. I just realized this is live. Is this live?
Yes po, we are
Yes, it
live
is.
right now. Yes, we are.
I
Yes.
hope I look okay and I'm
You
talking
You
sense.
look beautiful,
Yeah,
just
yeah.
like your paintings.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you, Aisha. Promise, I will send you some paintings.
Oh my God!
So one day when I become famous, you'll remember.
Opo.
I became, I got money because of this painting. Napaka-positive to, no? Imagine. Well,
Yes po.
I have to dream and I have to hope.
Yes, if we think it in our minds, we can hold it in our hands.
Wow.
Diba? Whatever.
I'll tell you something. Van Gogh, he died being a pauper, being poor. Nobody enjoyed his painting. Okay? So, in life, it's possible that nobody would like your painting now. They think that your painting is so awful. But maybe in 100 years from now, you're in. See? So, I would like to suggest also to young artists, paint according to how you feel. Okay? Do not be placed in a box. Okay,
Paint
go
from the
beyond
heart.
that. Yeah. Paint, from the heart. Are you a painter?
No, I am not even someone creative. But, or maybe I'm not discovering it yet. Hindi ko pa po alam.
Maybe.
Maybe,
Because you're still
maybe
young.
not.
When you turn 60, you will discover, I like painting. Than dancing. No, joking.
But let's see po, maybe siguro in the far future, if I would have the hand for painting.
You never know. What about you, Joe? Do you like painting? As a
I
hobby? What's your hobby?
anything beautiful makes me happy.
Wow!
Oh, that's dangerous. You mean all the girls?
But we have to qualify it. I like handsome men.
Okay.
Another
Don't
Josa
forget,
beside me.
you're a character.
Diba? Another Josa beside me. Oh.
Well, we shall see.
Let's all paint love and beauty.
And
diba?
peace.
And peace.
And excellent health.
Excellent health, yes. Especially at this time. Did you have any painting that's probably, I don't know if it's right to say, inspired by the pandemic?
Yeah, I'll show you.
Okay.
Wow, perfect timing. I did. I painted. Just a minute, guys. This one. Did you see this?
Oh my God, it's
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah.
See that? You walk now with a mask. And it's still the jeepney scene, but I like the jeepney scene.
Aww.
Maganda ha? Maganda.
Maganda siya. It's very telling.
Because because I was told to paint something about COVID, and it's so difficult to paint something. So I thought, okay, I talk about the new norm.
Yeah.
That is the new norm. How
Yeah,
long
it
did
is.
it take for you to finish that piece po?
This one, it took me a week.
1 week.
I'm getting faster now. The first one, it took me a month. The first one that I made.
A
okay?
month, and we're working on it almost every day.
Yeah, because that time, this was the first one I made. Okay, this was I submitted this to Fabriano. You see how thick my painting is compared to how I do it now. This one took me a month, and you keep on looking at it and changing it and all that stuff. But you change as you start to enjoy the watercolor.
Brenda, I'm just curious. We haven't talked about Mr. Tank.
Ah, yes.
Yeah, so how does he regard your art, and how does he inspire you, or what's his role in your creativity?
Yes.
Okay.
How does love play in your
Actually,
creativity?
okay. Shall I tell you something? There's no more Mr. Tank.
Oh.
It's okay, it's
I'm sorry
okay.
to hear
We can
that.
talk about it. Because if it didn't happen, I don't think I would be painting.
Okay,
See, so
okay.
you see,
That's his role.
you see different direction. You take a different direction. You do other stuff to maybe to reinvent yourself or
Okay.
to cover up for something. So painting came at the time when I needed a deviation.
Okay.
All right.
So maybe this is the right time for you to paint.
So you need a deviation too.
Meron po siguro. I think work is deviation enough, but painting might do better.
At saka iba, oo. Iba, ano? Yung
Iba.
expression of the self is, yeah.
Yeah, no, one thing I've learned from my experience, you can reinvent yourself at any point in time.
Yes. Do your
Okay.
do your paintings show if you're happy or sad, or
When I'm sad, I paint my paintings more boldly because I want to think. Yeah, remember, it's an expression of your inside. So
parang it's a more striking expression of emotions. Parang
maybe,
Malungkot siya.
or maybe because you want, if you're sad, you want to be happy. So you don't want to use colors that will dampen you.
Oo.
So you use colors like yellow and the red and the orange to give you warmth. So maybe I did that subconsciously.
yeah, parang that pandemic painting is very bright and all that.
Yes.
But
Oo.
it's actually different from the reality, no?
Yeah, maybe I live in my own world. No, but it's true. As I've said, it really depends on how you look at life. But in a pandemic situation, you don't want really to be sad. You really have.
Yes.
Pope Paul. No, not Pope Paul. The Pope now, Pope
Francis.
Francis. He did mention that artists like us need to be an inspiration to others, to become ambassadors of goodwill. And so if you paint sadness, then that would make people more sick and sad. But if you change the image, like me, like I change the colors, because
Yeah.
life has to go on,
Yes.
whether you like it or not, whether there's a pandemic or not. Okay, so it's attitude again.
So it's safe to say that your artwork spread your intentions. So kumbaga it's a channel or an instrument for people to perceive your whatever is in your heart or whatever is in the painter's heart. Is that
I
it?
do not like, for example, this one, no.
Nice.
And subconsciously, I painted how we used to be when we were children. Wait, I look for that. Wait, there. Oh, what is it? Can you see the girl and the boy and the little one? The little baby is of course Clint, and then the other one, okay, is Randy, the favorite of my mom. And if you notice the girl, she's always naughty. That was me. So you see, subconsciously, you paint actually yourself in your painting. Well, in mine, yes. Okay, and then I also painted another one about the tapacero, and then they said they see the hand of God. So actually, maybe deep inside, people see your artwork differently than when you painted it, or maybe subconsciously, I place myself in my painting.
What is a tapacero?
Oh, okay, just a minute. My tapacero. Wait, ha? Let me look for
Tapestry.
this. The tapacero is, of course, the sugar. I like always to have paintings of my of what's happening now in the. Wait na, ha?
Mukhang prepared na prepared si Madam. Everything is by her side.
Like this one, itong tapacero, guys, yung sa sugar. Like this one, this is also of the COVID. If you
Oh.
notice the head, that's the coronavirus.
Oh. Oh.
Okay, but so I like doing those kind of funky stuff. And then the tapacero, I cannot have it because I already sold it. Wait a minute, huh? Let me see if I could find one. Hindi man itong tapacero. Okay. It's coming. It's here. So actually, when people start like me now, I'm in the process wherein people are starting to appreciate my work. So when you paint, you really have to put a lot of thought, and then you tell yourself, "Oh, I really hope that my painting is really nice." It's really horrible because then I get nervous. Okay, look at this. This is not the one that I sold, but this is the study. Okay, and a lady told me that they see the sacred heart of Jesus. And then another person said they can see the hand of God holding on to the little boy. You see?
Yeah.
So different interpretations.
Different interpretation. So it really is dependent on oh, here, this is a better one, sorry. You see that? See the hand of God, and then the hand here, and this one. Well, that's what they felt at that time when they were looking at it. So it really is dependent on the person viewing your painting.
Apo. Siguro, ma'am, maybe before I go, I just like, eto yung matagal ko nang gustong itanong sa isang actual painter. Kung ano ba ang inspiration ng isang abstract painting? Meron ba talaga tayong meron ba talaga mga tao that could look into the beauty past just, alam mo yun, parang colors just dumped all over the place? I don't know how to explain an abstract painting. Hindi ko kasi siya, I don't have the eye for it. But I want to understand what people see of an abstract painting.
I am not an abstract painter because I think I use my logic too much than because with abstract, I think you let your emotions run wild or your gut feeling. But I did try to make one. Okay, this is just lines. Can you see?
Yeah, yeah.
And then in the long run, it looks like you're in the forest. You see that? It depends. Wait, can you see? Can you see?
Yeah.
It depends.
Yeah.
It really depends on the mood. Like this one, we were taught about colors and splattering. Can you see that?
Yeah, yeah.
Some people would think that it's a beautiful painting, but I do not find it, so I don't say. I don't even bother showing. I'm showing it to you to give you an example that an abstract painting is also something that you would start to like. Okay, because when you create that, you allow your mind and your emotions to let go and just create something out of nothing and then and see what how beautiful it is. But of course, I don't know. I'm not really an abstract painter. I'm not very good at that. I'm just learning.
All right. That was an insightful interview.
Yeah.
You sure?
Yes po, kasi it's the first time that I actually heard a lot of very insightful comments from an actual painter. Some of the questions that I had na matagal na, ngayon lang siya nasagot. And I am sure a lot of our viewers, especially those creative ones who maybe want to start a career with painting or who are maybe now into the painting industry but maybe are struggling, definitely took a thing or two from your insight. So that was really very good, di ba po, sir?
If they want, they can join also the Philippine Guild of Watercolorists because there we encourage our members to participate in exhibitions. Then from there, if you paint almost every day, then you become better. And then one day, you create your own portfolio. And before you know it, you are the Miss Aizal Abanilia, the painter. You know, something like that. So,
Nakakaloka naman yun. Siguro po ano na lang, maybe if you're still selling some of your works, where could they get it? Where could they see it? Do you have a website or your social media accounts that you would like to promote para makita po ng mga tao yung works ninyo?
oh, they can look at the Instagram. But most often, like my Carabas, they're gone. My jeepneys, the ones that they like the most, the ducks, the jeepneys, the fish, they're gone. The ones that are difficult to sell are the portraits. But I like making portraits. I like to see expressions.
All right.
So yeah, people don't. I just found out that people don't like to see another face in their wall in their house. Or, for example, you paint a person and the person's eyes is directly looking at the person. They don't like that. Maybe because it reminds them of a ghost, something. I don't know. So they're quite difficult to sell the portraits unless you paint a person specifically for that particular person.
All right. Ayan.
Okay.
Thank you very much, Miss Brenda. We are hoping to have you again here on Spotlight, and hopefully po din sana we can see your works in person.
Yes.
If you would have a gallery here in
should
Manila,
go to Talisay.
yes, opo.
Come over, I'll feed you. Because Negros is known for good food. Come over. Okay?
Ay, oh.
Come if you know, come. Okay?
Sige
You're
po.
most welcome.
Sige
After
po.
the pandemic.
After the pandemic, maybe we can go there.
Did you get your vaccinations already?
Apparently, hindi pa po. But hopefully, we can have it soon because we are under the media category po. So, hopefully, maturokan na rin kami para matapos na ang kaba-kaba. Kayo po ba?
I think Monday.
Monday.
Yeah, Monday. Hopefully, because I'm a senior citizen. So, a lot of people pity me. No, joke.
Salamat po. It was a
Thank you.
pleasure.
Yes, thank you
having
very
you with
much,
us
Miss
this
Brenda.
afternoon.
And thank you very much. I really hope I was able to also give insight to your viewers. And also, I'd like to say
definitely.
thank you for Tribune for allowing me to tell you about my art journey.
Yes,
Thank
yes.
you, Jojo. Thank you.
Salamat po.
Thank you very much, Miss Brenda. We hope to see you again po. Thank
Thank
you
you po.
very much. And thank you also to everyone who watched with us tonight. Sorry, today. Tonight naman ako agad. Thank you very much once again. I'm Aizel.
I'm Jojo.
And see you again on Spotlight.